Hi friends, very recently many of my YouTube community members requested me to create a full video on NHPC. So in this video I will speak about few critical points about NHPC. Number one is why NHPC stock has been rallying close to 120% in last 1 year. Point number two that I would also cover is the recent correction of 18%. Is it a good time to invest in this company or not? We will look at the valuation. Number three, I will also speak about the future prospects of this company considering what the company does right now and the Indian government policies around it. It's going to be a super interesting video. Only humble request I have for you is that do not skip the video because you're going to learn a lot in this video. First critical point, why NHPC has been rallying like crazy and has given 120% in last 1 year. For this, if you go to screener, you will find something very odd. What is it? If you look at the sales of this company, it has only grown from 7,000 crore in March 2012 to now 10,000 crores in March 2023. 11 years and the revenues have only grown by close to 3,000 crore rupees. So there is nothing that you can see here. In fact, if I show you the compounded sales growth, it is only 5%. Profit growth, if you see in the last 10 years, is only 5%. So very, very muted performance this company has given. Also, if I show you their quarterly results, you will see that quarter ended December 2023, their profits has come down from 1600 crores to 600 crores only. In spite of all of this, why the stock is going crazy is what we need to understand. So for this, what we are going to do is break down this rally into two components. So if you see from almost September, October time frame, which was the stock trading at around 50 rupees, it went up to, let's say, December 23-26 at around 64. And the second rally was from 64 rupees to almost 103 rupees, right? Let's break it into two parts. The first rally, which is from around September, October 53 rupees to almost 64 rupees. That was mainly on the back of G20 summit and India's announcement that India is going to target 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy, which is non-fossil is mainly renewable energy sources. That is one part. But the second rally, which is from here, from around December 23-25 onwards, 64 to 103, it was mainly because of this announcement that you see on my screen, which is on 23rd of December, Indian government announced specific steps that they are taking in the area of pumped storage projects, which is under hydro projects. And this is where NHPC company operates in the hydro projects. What you see on my screen is a lot of details about what specific steps the government is going to take. One of them, for example, is that any large hydro project which is greater than 25 megawatts will be considered as renewable energy source. And there are a lot of policy benefits that the renewable energy sector is getting right now. This was one of the key reasons that NHPC stock from 64 rupees on December 22 went up to 103 rupees by February 2024, right? I hope this context is very clear. I will give you the link of the Indian government's announcement because I want you to go ahead and read this policy, because you need to understand if you ever want to invest in this company, you really need to understand what is going on in this sector. I'll provide you the link in the description and as well as in the pinned comment so that you can do some reading around it. All this is past, Rahul. Now speak about future. Allow me 2 to 3 minutes of time and I will give you exact details about what are the future prospects of this company. Before that, I really need to set some context of energy creation by India and the various contributions from various sources. So have a look at this screen and you will see that as of October 2023, 56% of India's energy needs are met by thermal energy such as coal, 31% by renewable sources and only 11% from hydro sources, which is where NHPC operates. We will speak about it in 2 to 3 minutes of time. Now, interesting fact that you need to know is back in 1947, India's 37% of energy needs used to be met by hydro sources. But in the late 1960s, coal-based power generation started to pick in India and the hydro contribution started to decline massively because Indian government was ignoring hydro sector as such. And now in 2023, 37% has come down to 11%. However, critical point here is that tides are turning over, as we saw in the previous section of this video where Indian government is putting a lot of policies around hydro projects, and we are going to see some of that in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Having said that, currently 92% of India's hydro projects or hydro energy need is catered by PSU companies. As you can see on my screen, companies like NHPC, companies like NIPCO, which is a subsidiary of NTPC, SJVN, a stock that I hold, many of my YouTube community members know about it. Companies such as THDC, another subsidiary of NTPC. Again, this is a very, very critical information. I will use this information in the next 2 to 3 minutes. That's why I'm sharing it. But the key takeaway here is that 92% of India's hydroelectric power right now is generated by PSU companies. So it is essential for us to understand what is the share of NHPC in this 92%. Also, where are the potential growth options for NHPC? So quick summary of NHPC. NHPC incorporated in 1975. It's a mini Ratna PSU company. NHPC captures 15% of market share when it comes to hydroelectricity. And as you can see on my screen, it is a pan-India company but has a strong presence in Northeast. Now comes the current capacity of this company and what are the future prospects of growth for this company. What you see on my screen is currently this company is having an installed capacity of close to 7,000 megawatts of hydropower. But if we look at the under construction, that is 10,000 megawatts. Awaiting clearance is 996 megawatts and under investigation is close to 4,000 megawatts. So if we put this together, 26,000 megawatts. So from 7,000 megawatt capacity to 26,000 megawatt capacity is what company is looking to go for. But before you go into your Demat account and say that I'm going to invest in this company, hear the full story. See, the first critical point is that 26,000 megawatt is not going to come overnight, right? For example, NHPC recently got a 1,600 crore investment in India's largest hydro project, right? And if you read this commentary, you will see that this project is going to get completed in next 9 years time, which is a huge gestation period. So it is going to take 9 years to set up this 1,600 crore projects because hydro projects take a lot of time to set up the dam, to set up the infrastructure around it, to get the clearances and so on and so forth. So my point is simple. Coming back to this here, 26,000 megawatts of generation, we do not yet know how many years it's going to take to get to this number. It is right now our projection only. But important point here is that the company is also diversifying into solar. So this 10,000 megawatt of under construction capacity that you see, out of which close to 10% is going to come from solar. So they're diversifying as well from hydro to solar as well, but they will continue to remain hydro as their main source of electricity generation. And in my view, diversifying into solar is a very, very good move because solar projects can be set up quickly, right? For example, here you see NHPC backs 200 megawatts of capacity solar power project in Gujarat. And if you read this commentary here, this will be completed in 18 months only. So it is going to bring some additional revenues to this company in a shorter period of time because hydro projects take a really, really long period of time. So the key takeaway here is that the future prospects of this company looks positive because there is going to be a lot of installed capacity. However, I do not right now know what is the time horizon in which they are going to get from 7,000 megawatts to 26,000 megawatts. So far, if you're enjoying this analysis, a humble request for you to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments a simple thank you. It will motivate me to come up with such videos at zero cost for you. Also, you can consider subscribing to my YouTube member community because I post a lot of analysis in terms of stocks, mutual funds and various other assets that will give you a lot of information so that you can go and make informed decisions. Before I speak about valuation of this company, I also want to speak about one critical trigger about this company that you need to understand. So last year in August 2023, it was in the news that government is considering a mega merger plan for hydro projects or hydro companies. Now in future, if this plan gets executed, what does this mean? This will mean that companies such as NHPC, companies such as THD and NHPC that I spoke about in the earlier section, which are the subsidiaries of NTPC, they will get merged into one single hydropower company. And also there were some talks about SJVN, which is another stock that operates in the hydropower sector, might also get merged into this company. Will this be a good news or bad news? What we see here is that it is going to be a good news because it is going to improve the efficiency and it will cut the cost as well because NHPC, THDC and NHPC, they all have inherent strengths that they have. And if you merge these three entities into one, then the economies of scale, the efficiencies, and hopefully less delays will make hydro sector more lucrative in my view. When is it likely to happen and are there any challenges? I don't know when is it likely to happen, but the problem here is the money because NHPC does not have the cash to do this acquisition, right? And they will need 11,000 crores to be able to acquire these two companies. And right now the company is busy giving dividends to the government. Anyways, I wanted you to be fully aware of that. Now let's move to the valuation of this company. So what's the fair value of this share? I'm recording this video in March 2023 and right now the stock is trading at around 85 rupees. But if you look at some history here, you will see that on 17th of January 2024, Government of India came up with a OFS, which is offer for sale, for 3.5% stake dilution in this company. And they had set up a price of 66 rupees per share. To me, that is the lower price that the stock can go to. Again, this is not guaranteed, but this OFS tells me the indication that this might be the lower price. Again, do not take this as a recommendation. I'm simply sharing my view and opinion. I may be totally wrong here. Now, this offer for sale, if you look at the data here, 1.4 times bids by the retail subscribers, so which is a very, very healthy demand of this share. But more importantly, if you look at the institutional buyers, there were 22.6 crores that were there on offer, the number of shares. and 91 crore shares were required by the institutional investors. So the demand is close to 4 times. So market in January was valuing this stock at around 66 rupees. Soon after this, 24th of January, government also came up with an offer for 50 lakh equity shares to be given to employees, and at that time the government set up the price to be 81 rupees. Also, if you look at the PE and PB ratio of this company NHPC, you will see that the industry PE is at around 22.53. The company right now is at 22.98. Fair valuation from PE perspective. PB perspective 2.29, industry standard, and NHPC is at 2.19. So all in all, it is not trading at some stupid PEs of like 50 or 60 here. It is almost trading at the industry level. Also, if you go to Alpha Spread, a company that gives you the intrinsic value, not my data, this is Alpha Spread's data here. Base case scenario, they are saying the intrinsic value of this company might be at around 80 rupees per share. Worst case scenario, they are saying it might be around 58 rupees per share, and the best case scenario, it might be that the intrinsic value is at around 116 rupees per share. I've given you a lot of information. Decision is yours, whether to invest, whether to hold, whether to buy, to sell. It is all your money, your decisions. What I've done in this video is given you loads of information that you will spend hours and hours researching yourself. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video, let me know in the comments a simple thank you. I will see you in my next video. Until then, keep rocking.